What is up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Forging the New MCU. This is a series where I break down each project in my own Marvel movie universe that I covered in a series of live streams with myself and Marvel Mad. If you want to check them out, I have them linked below, and you can check out the entire story as a whole or just up until this point. It's up to you. But today I'm going to be talking about the finale to Phase 2 of the cosmic saga, the Uncanny X-Men. Before I get started though, make sure to subscribe and like this video, I'd really appreciate it, and let's get to it. Alright, so as usual, I'm going to go over the synopsis to the movie, which is: the X-Men expand with the addition of Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Rogue, and Thunderbird. The team will face off against Mr. Sinister and his Marauders, who are kidnapping mutants for their own experiments. Very short and simple. This is going to be a very unique X-Men movie in the sense that there's going to be two teams in this movie. And if you know from the comics, there's the original team that was in the first X-Men movie in this franchise I've created. In this one, this is the new team that's coming in. So in this, Mr. Sinister is going to kidnap the entire first team except for Cyclops. Cyclops manages to fight himself out of them trying to take all of the team basically, and the rest are taken away by Mr. Sinister and his Marauders. So Cyclops and Xavier have to kind of go through, okay, we need a team to go in and save the other members basically. So Xavier uses Cerebro, he finds all these different mutants, and Cyclops and him go around and recruit all these different members. So like I said, we have Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Rogue, and Thunderbird. These are, for the most part, the members that were brought into the new X-Men team in Giant Size X-Men #1. The ones that were kept out of this I chose were Banshee and Sunfire. Sunfire didn't last too long on this team, and Banshee was one of those characters where I thought he couldn't really do much in this team with Mr. Sinister and all that. I decided to include Rogue because she is a powerhouse of a character, and I think it would be really cool to see her interact with this new group of mutants that they're meeting for the first time basically. And this is where the first one dealt with the original team trying to find out how to work together and take down Magneto. In this, they're trying to figure out how to work together and take down Mr. Sinister, who is a very, very powerful character. Mr. Sinister in this iteration is part mutant. I know a lot of people debate whether he's a mutant or not. In this franchise, he's experimented with himself, with other mutants, giving himself mutant genes to slow his aging. Mr. Sinister in the comics is a Victorian age scientist who, through his experiments, basically became immortal, and he's obsessed with dissecting mutants, trying to learn about them, experiment on them, make them into weapons basically. So in this, he has his own group of mutants called the Marauders that he's experimented on, and he's basically using them to go out and find other mutants to experiment on basically, kind of trying to grow his knowledge and evil image basically of he is a threat to mutants. So in this movie, the Uncanny X-Men, that's what this new team is called, like in the comics, they all have to work together and trying to learn each other's abilities, how to best, use my ability to help you and your ability to help mine, that kind of thing. And in this, I will confirm, you get the fastball special in the movie with, Colossus throwing Wolverine. It's their iconic move together. I think it's so awesome. And in this, you get some very, heartfelt character moments where you get to learn every one of their backstories basically. And they all have to kind of, like I said, work together, but in that they learn each other's struggles, they learn where each other thrives, and in that they become a solid team, and in a way a new family basically. There are multiple encounters with Sinister leading them to different places than where the original team actually is, and in the end they end up, finding each other. The new team has a huge fight with Sinister and the Marauders. He's basically, turned the old team against the new team. I thought that would be really interesting. He's experimented with them to the point where he can control them in some way, and the old team has to fight the new team. And honestly, there's the iconic comic cover where the first team and the second team are kind of like at a, conflict with each other. And I wanted to kind of mirror that in this. And Charles is basically, through this whole thing, he's like, everything I've built to this point is basically blowing up in my face right now. these two teams that I've put together that were supposed to help the world are fighting each other right now because of this one person that hates mutants so much that he wants to dissect them and basically ruin their capabilities. The two teams fight. In the end, they end up, counteracting Sinister's control over them, and Sinister escapes. And I will confirm he does return in future projects. So keep your eyes out. If you are a fan of Mr. Sinister, he does return later down the road. I'm not going to say where he does, when he does, but it is at some point later on. So after this, the Marauders are defeated when both teams come together and they fight as one. And after Sinister escapes, they basically say, we have everyone back. That's all that matters right now. We can deal with Sinister at another time. So they go back to the mansion and you get an iconic Danger Room sequence with all of them fighting together as one unified team. And I thought that would be so good in this, to have the solidification of the true X-Men team with all of them coming together. So I wanted to get that in this. Now for the post-credit scene, this is where things start to pick up for, the larger story. So in this post-credit scene, Charles meets with Reed once again about the plan for their Council of Heroes, and he names specific heroes that would be valuable additions to their team. So Charles mentions Tony Stark, T'Challa, Blackagar Boltagon, and Namor. Reed suggests a name for their team, the Illuminati. So there you go, it's confirmed that this Council of Heroes is the Illuminati. And obviously Charles name dropped Blackagar Boltagon, who is Black Bolt of the Inhumans, the Inhuman King. Obviously he hasn't been introduced in this universe yet, but I can confirm in Phase 3 he will be making his debut. So make sure to stay tuned for that. For this, it's kind of building up an exciting thing happening in Phase 3, which is the last phase of this franchise. So these heroes are coming together, kind of trying to crack down, okay, who is behind this? Obviously we know it's Doctor Doom is behind the entire cosmic artifact entity kind of targeting thing. He's planning something huge with these cosmic beings. So in this, these heroes are coming together and saying, okay, this is where we crack down. What's going on? We each have connections to different teams, different things in this, universe. Let's use our knowledge and figure out who is doing this. So that's going to be coming soon. But again, this is a true X-Men story that I wanted to get. I'm rereading the original first introduction of this team in the comics and their ongoing stories up until I'm just at the Phoenix Saga now. So that's where I've gone back to, and I'm up to the Phoenix Saga. That's where I'm at now. So very exciting stories. I can't wait to show you more of what's coming with these characters in the future. So that is the end of Phase 2. Again, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And stay tuned for the next video, which is the premiere to Phase 3, Nova. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you all next time.